Davi here, and today we have a new episode. Ugh, fuck, I'm trying to start a new series where I actually do art. Oof! Insult. And because I feel like I'm overthinking all of my, like most of my artwork, you know? I'm trying to get things right from the beginning, and I think that's not a good way to go. You know what? I'm realizing something. There's a bit of lag in my fucking. Oh my god, this sucks. I may have to change the program. Because right now I am using, Photoshop. Maybe it's better if I use CSP, Clip Studio Paint. I want to start a series where I just do art. It doesn't have to be a specific thing. It just, like, the common thread would just have to be me doing something. I could do like a bunch of warm-ups, which I'm kind of doing right now. I could do a study. I could do like a full real-time thing, or whatever the case is. What I want to do is make one playlist where it's just me doing art, and I think that's a more healthier way of approaching my lack of work. Is I think I'm just overthinking things, which is it's sad. Hopefully the screen isn't too bright. I did pick yellow because that's kind of my theme color, but maybe it's a bit too much. Most likely it is. Or maybe my file is too big. I do have a large canvas. It's 6000 by 3375 pixels. So is that too big? Ew. It might be. Yeah, so I think it's good to do some warm-ups. You know what? Fuck it. I'll just remain in Photoshop. No excuses, even if it's somewhat slow. I'll try and paint something. Maybe this can help me be less, or not less, but more picky with how I approach things. So right now, I'm actually not thinking of anything in particular. Usually I do this a lot behind the scenes where I just paint a bunch of random stuff. And I do think this helps you with your brushwork, even if you're not painting something or something specific, because you're practicing, just by doodling this way, you are practicing your like edge control, where you put highlights, shadows, and it just helps you become more comfortable with the brushwork, or with painting or sketching. See, I don't mind doing these sorts of things, and why not post my warm-ups? Because right now I am doing some kind of warm-up where it's just me painting something out of nowhere, or something that's not even clear, but it's just a way for me to begin or start. And I think it's very useful to do this kind of thing. And I want to make it a daily thing. I want to be able to post a few videos at least a day, because my posting schedule is horseshit. I did have some trouble with my audio these past few days. So I had to fix up my Audacity, my voice meter, Potato app, because I messed something up by accident, I believe, and it ruined pretty much everything. So it's kind of annoying. Not kind of. It took me away from my normal sked, but I think I needed that struggle. What the fuck is this? I'm not sure, but that's not the point. So thankfully, hopefully right now, the audio sounds somewhat okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, and that's what I constantly try to remind myself. It doesn't have to be perfect. Good enough is good enough. What's important is you do your work in terms of posting your content, and yes. So as you can see, I'm not exactly doing anything that special, but it helps me. I think this is a great way to start your day. And it takes away the pressure, because if you constantly want to or have to like draw something, paint something that's like ArtStation homepage level, bruh, take it easy. Just relax, bruh, relax. And I think this is what I need to hear. This constant need to be. I think it's because I'm always, I do live somewhat online. I'm always, not always, but I'm usually exposed to a lot of things. So my standards are kind of high. Maybe not standards, but I'm just exposed to different kinds of artwork. So it can be interesting, seeing that contrast of your own work and the work of others. You know what? Maybe I need to change my brush. Maybe I'm just not feeling my brush right now. Something more. Maybe the opacity is ruining things. Something more basic. Again, I think it's important to not pressure yourself. There's this guy named Zapata, Steve Zapata, I believe. He does a lot of, it's similar to this, like he's doing kind of the same thing. I keep saying kind of. He's doing whenever he does, I believe I've seen him. Fuck, I've seen some of his work on YouTube, and he plays a lot with anatomy, and they almost feel like rendered doodles. So he just plays around with what he knows in terms of anatomy, and it just builds up as it goes. And I want to be able to achieve a similar thing. Like I do like the vibe of that approach, where it's just you making art and you're not really pressuring yourself to do anything, and you're just letting your experience take over, or your subconscious mind. Now, obviously, how things will look will depend on how much experience you have, how good your skills are. So yeah, I think it's just good to not think so much about, maybe I'm too zoomed in. Maybe the canvas is just too big. Bruh, I think it's too big. Okay, it's much faster. I believe the brush was a bit too strong, or maybe the spacing wasn't right, so maybe that bothered, or it's taking too much of a toll on Photoshop and my actual computer. So, and yes. Do you see how I'm just building things? It doesn't have to be clear, by the way. And that's the cool thing about doing warm up stages like this. It's just a way to, it's almost like therapy. Is it therapy? Is that the word? Or meditation, where you just let things happen, and it's almost therapeutic in some way, because it helps you forget and lose focus when it comes to outside stuff. I do like leaving or doing this sort of thing, adding highlights randomly. And yeah. And don't be afraid to use blacks or really dark values. I think it's fun. And don't worry so much about being right when doing warm ups. I think it's important to just put your pen to canvas or paper or your tablet. Because if you're the type of person that's struggling with showing up, I think you should focus more on showing up instead of being right. You can work on your skills later, just focus primarily first on showing up, because that's like you can't improve if you don't show up. Even if you don't work on any specific skills today or in any of your art sessions, at least you've shown up. Eventually, over time, it's impossible to not learn something along the way. Do you follow? Yeah, focus on the habit. And I think that's what I'm trying to do with this thing. What am I doing? Again, it's not about painting something specific, because you can always paint over. And maybe I should put some kind of time limit. Kind of. Bruh. If you're doing a YouTube channel or a podcast of some kind, you're going to find out that you use a lot of filler words. And whenever you try to reduce something like you end up using another filler word, like, fuck. And it's interesting. It's interesting and annoying. So there's that. Whenever I'm lost, I'll just flip the canvas like a G. Ooh, what am I doing? Maybe the canvas is too big. Although I do see something here. I see potential. Here's what I'll do. I'll use the lasso tool and select this part. This part seems somewhat interesting. I'll copy a flattened version of it. I'll paste it somewhere in a new layer. I'll hit Control T and then perhaps free transform. Shit. Maybe warp or something. Askew. Jesus, distort. There you go. Ooh. And then I'll hit the erase tool. Erase some parts away. Maybe that can help encourage something in me. Again, what's my focus? I just need to warm up and start my day by actually putting my pen to paper or canvas or tablet. Oh, by the way, I think my Photoshop just froze. Oh my fucking god. So maybe it's a bit too big. Next time, lesson learned. I should probably stick to like a 1920 by 1080 or 1980 by 1920 by 1080, that like a basic HD frame, because right now my Photoshop is pretty much fucking dead. So this sucks. You know what? Fuck it. I'll switch to a different program. I'm going to try and use Clip Studio Paint this time. So now I do have Clip Studio Paint open. So fuck. So we'll go back to Photoshop and see what's happening. Yep, we're still frozen. So lesson learned. Don't do that again. Or make the file. Fuck me. Make it smaller next time. So right now we're in Clip Studio Paint. The size of this whole canvas is 3000 by 3000, so that's good enough for me. So we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't freeze. What I do know is, at least from my setup, Clip Studio Paint seems way faster than Photoshop. I believe it's B10. By the way, if you have brushes, I'm not sure exactly how to name my own, so I just use a bunch of numbers to help me. Oh my freaking Christ. Clip Studio Paint is way faster. I'm not sure why Photoshop is so slow. By the way, when it comes to this kind of, I said it again, kind of, dumb, you bugger. Oh, by the way, I just watched a recent episode of Chainsaw Man, Beast, episode 6, I believe. Look how anatomical this guy looks. Oof, expert. Again, Dave, let's focus on just doodling. Or just edge control. You can practice your shading this way. I mean, look at how cool this is. Just be free. And you know what sucks about Clip Studio Paint? It's the background. I want it to be darker. Like the theme, it has a dark theme, so that's good, but it's not dark enough for my tastes. And I want to be able to change this background at least, but you know, it is what it is. I guess I have to deal with it. Oh. There you go. Big brush stroke. So what am I doing? I'm not exactly sure, but I think this part of the, like this practice or this exercise, is it an exercise? It's more of a warm up just to loosen up your grip, your hand grip. Oh, and when you're doing these sorts of somewhat anatomical, organic forms, try to paint or sketch in a profile view. If you're trying to do a perspective, it just complicates things. So if you check out the work of, Anthony Jones, a lot of his works are kind of, jeez, Jesus. It's almost in a side profile view, so it helps him focus more on the design rather than the storytelling of the character pose or something of that sort. It's a great way to just simplify things, and it helps you get the idea out way faster than, like, is it necessary to have like a 3-shot or 3-point perspective to show the design of something? I mean, bruh. Maybe for narrative art, if you're trying to do some kind of storyboard, sure, but flip it. Am I too zoomed in? And my suggestion is to have some kind of, God help me. Learn how to edit your own brushes. I think that's what has helped me the most, because I've heard this advice or this concept where, oh, brushes don't matter, bro. I mean, I guess in principle, you can always make something out of nothing with a basic round brush, sure, but it does help. It doesn't matter, bro. I mean, okay. Because it does help. We all have different ways of sketching and painting. So it would make sense for you to adjust or learn how to play with your own tools. You have to be able to be skilled to learn how to adjust and master your own tools. Make your own tools if necessary. And my advice is to sell them. Or if you've made enough, why not sell them? I mean, I do have my own brushes, and I do sell them, and it's nice to have like extra money because you've made something of value, right? So don't be afraid to make your own. Once you have like say 25, or maybe even 10 if they're like legit, or if you keep using them and they seem somewhat interesting, don't be afraid to share them online. I mean, you could do it for free. I've seen plenty of people do it for free. And usually if they do it for free, their brushes they're actually not bad. But yeah, I'm going to sound a bit too judgy, but ooh, it's like I'm better than these people because I am, bitch. Ooh, arrogant. But yeah. So just add forms to forms. I think this is a great way to just waste time. If you're going to waste time, why not just practice your edge control, I mean, look at how anatomical this thing looks. Even if it's not weird, or even if it is weird, it has an essence of beauty and chaos. Now, obviously, it would help if I knew, or if my visual library was actually or has some kind of content, but I don't really have a lot of experience because I don't draw a lot with reference. That is my biggest crutch. when it comes to this thing. I don't paint with reference. I mean, sometimes I do, but it's so rare. Like I'm so stubborn. Like I refuse. Like I refuse to just fucking. I mean, why? Everyone paints with reference, even Kim Jong Gi, R.I.P. Right? It's so dumb. Anyway, if I knew more, if I knew say how to paint, maybe eyes, or maybe if I knew how to properly draw, like a shoulder or an arm, maybe it would help add more to my designs, my random design doodles or warm ups. So maybe in the next session, I'll take a reference photo and then try to make something out of that reference photo. Maybe not just one, maybe a few, but within the same category. Maybe anatomical parts. I can try studying those things. The point of my so-called new playlist would have to be I need to keep myself accountable because the whole bitch move I just have too many excuses and it sucks. I have so much to offer because I have this thing in me. I know I'm special. Shout out to David Martinez. In it's a cyberpunk reference, but yes, I am special. But yeah, it's just sad me hiding all this fucking glory. I mean, look at my work. Look at that. Impressive. What the fuck is this, bruv? This part right here looks kind of like a butt, right? Ooh, based. Anyway, so yeah, let's try. Wait, how long have I been recording? 22 minutes? Fuck it, maybe I'll record sessions every 30 minutes. Or maybe that's kind of my limit. Kind of. I'll make that my limit. 30 minutes of any session, whether it be warm-ups, practicing with reference, or studying some kind of or studying a reference here and there. I'll try to keep the session within 30 minutes because I do have to edit them, and eventually once I do put it online, it may, who knows, it may be less, it may be more, because I will edit and do some post-processing, and yeah. So, yes. So if you're struggling with your art, fuck it, let's go. Let's just paint shit. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to mean, anything. Focus on showing up. And I think you can join me. Let's do this. Let's stop being a wimp and let's just do it. And make shit happen. You know what? I feel I'm overusing this brush. I don't know. Maybe I'll limit myself to one brush per session so I can save time and be more focused and be more creative with my strokes. So look at that, boys. So what am I doing? No idea. That's not the point. The point is to show up. And hopefully, within say a few months of me being consistent, I'll be able to a session like this will hopefully be somewhat beautiful, or because this right now is a reflection of what I know, of the forms I have studied. So as you can see, blending is kind of there, but the actual subject matter, I do lack that visual library. And this is something that I have to work on. But the only way to do that is to do the work, show up and build up that mileage. And this one looks, let's draw an arm or shoulder or some kind of shoulder. Kind of. Jeez. Yep, my anatomy is horseshit. It's something, the bicep, the tricep, and then the forearm. Yep, my foreshortening is garbage. But again, it's because I don't have the knowledge, the power. And yes, I do need to draw with reference, bruh. It's so dumb to ignore using references. So it is a kind of shoulder. Hopefully you get the point. Kinda. Maybe the shoulder is too far off. Oof. That is horrifying. And it's ruined. Do you follow? Now you can see I'm struggling with, I can see the gist of it. Maybe the hand is somewhere here, but yeah. So it's been, okay, so it hasn't been 30 minutes yet. I'm not sure if I should post this raw or do some cuts, but we'll see. I think I'm going to do some cuts just to make it less long because I think it can be too much. I can do like a draw with me thing where people can follow along, but I do think even if people try to follow along, the attention span of the average person is pretty much close to a goldfish's. Um, I believe goldfish have they have a 7 second or 3 second memory, so that sucks. And it's sad because long form content is, unless they're super interested in the subject matter, sure, long form works, but in general, bruh, the attention span of people is getting shorter and shorter. And it's not just people, it's me. I understand. I'm not, I mean, I am special, but I'm not that special. And yeah, I've noticed that I just can't focus as much as long. And maybe that is influencing why I'm focusing on doing short sessions, like short 30-minute sessions, because I think it's just too long for me to do more. And I think I want to focus more, say, on this whole playlist. I might call the playlist just simply art sessions to encapsulate all of my sessions where I just do art, whether it be warm ups, doodles, studies, sketches, designs, fan art. Or I don't think I'll do tutorials in this playlist, in this hypothetical playlist, because tutorials do take time, and you do need to learn how to, like, teaching is a skill, I believe, and there are plenty of amazing artists that are shit teachers, because I do think it is its own skill, and there are only a few artists that can legitimately teach you how to do it stuff. Even when I study other artists and they have like tutorials, they're not exactly teaching me. Like, it's not a step by step. They're just showing me the Photoshop file and just running through their mindset. So I still have to figure things out on my own. And I think that's the majority of learning. Oh my god, okay. I guess I have to stop the video. Oh shit. Should I? I'm back. Oh god. Maybe this is a sign I should stop. So, yep, I'll think I'll end the video here. So hopefully you enjoyed my random chaos in Photoshop and in Clip Studio Paint. So I'll see you in the next art session, and please guys, let's just show up. Let's stop the bitching, let's stop the moaning and the whining, the crying, and actually show up. It doesn't have to be good. I mean, look at how horrifying my work is. But it's something. Right now, at least, at the very least, I'm somewhat warmed up. I'm ready for maybe a different session where I do some kind of study. Kind of. And yeah, so hopefully you join me. And I do suggest, if you do have, a good laptop, if your computer can take it, try to record your session and let's do this together. Because I want to be able to like your stuff, and obviously like my own shit too. So we can grow together as a community, right? So yeah. So I'll see you in the next art session, and yeah.